Hey there, welcome to the Empowered Man podcast. Today, I'm going to do something a little different. I wanted to give you guys access to an older podcast that I'd done some time ago in the last year and wanted to bring it back because it's really important that we really master the fundamentals and the basics. And so in your Empowered Man journey, maybe you didn't hear this particular episode, but I wanted to get it back in your hands. It's super important that you listen to it, take it to heart, apply the message, and we will see you on the other side.
Well, cool, guys. I'm excited to hop on here. It's been a while since I've done my own live by myself. I think it's been like 2 weeks because last week I had Misty on here, and hopefully you went and caught that. That video was phenomenal. Misty did a great job, and her and I are actually talking about how she can add more value to what we are actually doing in our VIP program as well as our Thrive program. So stay tuned for the additional resources that will be coming into the VIP program. I'm super excited about that. I'm also excited about the fact that I don't know if anybody's up in the Northwest, but I literally just booked my first trip to Seattle. I'm going to go hang out there in a couple weeks by myself in a cottage in the woods. It's part of my own journey of how I deal with the stress and anxiety and the things in my life. And it's doing those types of trips are super freeing. I don't have my kids that weekend, and I am just going to go and enjoy myself in a cottage in the woods. I'm going to try to write. I'm going to try to just brainstorm some more things about what I want to do and where I want to see Empowered Man go. So I'm super excited about that. Hey, look, comment below if you were on, if you were watching live, if you're watching replay, hashtag live if you're watching now. Dude, guys, I've been saving this training for about a week. I haven't had a chance to get in here and do this. I am stoked about it. I think this is a training that all of us need to hear and all of us need to see. I call it Vision 360. And the reason for it is because when I'm talking to a lot of you in Messenger or on phone calls or clients that I have, one of the number one questions I ask is, where do you want to be in the next 3 to 6 months? And I can't tell you how many times I get crickets. It's like, I don't know. I don't know where I want to be in 3 to 6 months. And the reason for that is because 95 to probably 99% of you are not focused on you when you come into this group, or even sometimes when you come into my program. You're so fixated on your wife and what she's doing, whether she's having an affair or she doesn't love you and all these things, and the pain that's coming to the surface. All you can think about is her and what she's doing. And guys, that is holding you back from living the life that you are meant to live. Look, I know it's painful, and I'm not going to sit here and say it's not painful, but I know that the number one thing that I did in the circumstances I was in was deciding and making a decision for myself. I am going to move forward regardless. Like, I want my wife, I want my marriage, I want my relationship, but I chose to move forward. And the goal was, hey, I'm going to move forward, and hopefully you want to join me in moving forward. Because a lot of times the reason they move on is because they're stuck with you and you're not doing anything. You're living a half-assed life. You come in here and you know it now. And you're like, man, I was living way under what I was supposed to be doing. You weren't paying attention to her. You weren't spending time with her. Maybe you were, into all kinds of other things and not really loving her the way you should love her. And so all of those bears an effect on you. So today I want to talk about this idea that, look, when you first are faced with this situation, what's up, Shane? When you are faced with this situation, you are feeling like you are in a fog. You're in a fog and you're trying to figure out, where the heck am I at? And you're looking for what I call an anchor. You're looking for something to hold you in by. And so when your wife first says, I don't love you, when you first find out about an affair, when she first says, I want separation, or when she first says, I want a divorce, all those things come at you and you're living your life and it's like, boom. It's like when the planes hit the World Trade Center and all of that smoke is there and people are just lost and confused. That is trauma 101, where your body goes into a place, literally your body, your mind, your spirit, everything goes into a place of trauma and shock, and you don't know where you are. You don't know what's happening. The key thing is you have to find yourself out of that. There's a great there was a book written years ago, and I can't remember the name of it, but they described the story of when these rescue guys who work in helicopters, and they rescue, like Coast Guard, that's what it is, Coast Guard guys, and what happens is they have to jump out of helicopters into ocean, and when they get into the ocean and there's, like, say somebody overboard, they have a rating scale of 0 to 5 or something like that, where it looks at the person and how conscious they are. And it's like, 0 is like no conscious, like they're not breathing or anything, all the way up to 5 where they're conscious, alert, and breathing. And most of you, when you come in here, it's like you've been knocked out of your boat, you've been knocked out of what's going on, you have no goals, you have no vision, you have no clarity, you have nothing, and you are just trying to stay afloat. You are just trying to stay afloat. So I want you to look at this tool and what we're going to talk about today as the way for you to not just stay afloat, but to see with your eyes that, hey, there's help out there. There's some rescuing that can happen out there. And at the same time, what are the things I need to be doing to put myself in a position to not just get help, but to become an empowered man? And so that's what we're going to talk about. Look, you need a vision. You have to have a vision. You cannot get to where you want to go to without a vision. If you've ever worked out, if you've ever lifted weights, if you've ever built a business, if you've ever had anything that you've aspired to do, you had to have a vision in order to create that, in order to make it happen. And that vision is really determined by you. It's determined by how far you want to take it. Now, in this context, I'm not expecting you to just come up with a vision of your life 5-10 years from now where everything is great and your wife is back with you and all those things. What I'm expecting you to do is to get very clear on what you want the next 3 to 6 months of your life to look like. Because these next 3 to 6 months are abso-fucking-lutely crucial to where you are going and where you want to be. Okay? Now, there's this idea that we think we are weak and that we are not strong and that we, for some reason, in this moment, we lose who we are. And so one of the very first things, and this exercise is some of the things we take our clients through in our VIP program. If you haven't talked to anybody about that yet, comment below and we will talk to you about it. But look, one of the first things that we have them do is this exercise we call the superhero character exercise. And that is this idea that I want you to be thinking about what superhero, what character do you admire in the movies the most? Some guys say Jason Bourne. Other guys say Bond, James Bond. Other guys say William Wallace. Other guys say Gladiator, the captain from the Gladiator. Other guys say Tom Hanks in Saving Private Ryan. Okay. Other guys say Superman. Other guys say Jesus. Other guys say, right, all these different types of characters. And I want you to think about that character, get clear on that character right now. Think about who they are. James Bond, right? How does he handle things? How does he handle life? How would he be in this situation? This might seem funny to you, might even seem childish to you, but the first way to get a vision is to really get clear on what you value inside of you. So if you come to me and say, hey, I want to be like James Bond, basically, right? And you start thinking about how he responds to everything. He's calm, he's cool, collected, he always has his shit together. And even though you don't feel like that right now, you can put on this character and be like, you know what? This is how I want to show up right now. I want to show up like James Bond. I want to show up like Superman. I want to show up like these guys. I have characters for multiple aspects of my life. I have a character for how I want to show up in relationships with my girlfriend, with my ex-wife. I have characters for how I want to show up in business and the type of business guy I want to be. So who I think about the most, and I go, this is who I want to be, and this is who I want to be like. And I go, okay, how would this person respond in this situation? And what it does, it gives me some clarity on where I want to go and how I want to live that. Okay, the next thing that you're going to want to do is I want you to think about, in 3 to 6 months, how do you want to be communicating with your wife? Think about that. How do you want to be communicating with your wife? Do you want to have this toxic communication where you're always fighting with her? Do you want to be yelling at her? Do you want to be constantly like using, sarcasm and indirect communication? Like, how do you want to be communicating with her? It's super, super important that you identify right now, how do I want to be communicating with her in the next 3 to 6 months? How do I want to show up to her in the way I communicate? The next thing I want to look at is what kind of boundaries do I feel like I need right now over these next 3 to 6 months? If I looked at my life 6 months from now, and let's say I'm James Bond, how is James Bond setting boundaries in his marriage? How is James Bond communicating to his wife? See, the reason you come up with that character is because that character reminds you of something in you that resonates with you deep down in the heart of your manhood that says, I want to be like that man, but I don't feel like I am that man. But guys, just because you don't feel like it doesn't mean you can't become that. Today, I'm a completely different man than I was 2 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, a year ago. I am a completely different man because I've put on this character and said, you know what? I want to be a different man. I am not going to settle for what I have been. I am going to choose a vision that gives me something to aspire to, that says I have what it takes to become that. And maybe I'm not perfect in it. Maybe I'm not always James Bond, or maybe I'm not always Jesus, or maybe I'm not always that person. But the fact is I have a vision to become that in my marriage or in my relationship. And because as I put that character on, I'm now not focusing on the fog of where I am. I'm not even focusing on what the fuck she's doing. I'm simply focusing on who I am and what I am doing. Do you see the difference? Do you see the difference? There's a huge difference here because some of you are so fucking focused on her and her needs and what she's doing and how she's cheating and all this blah, 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 blah bullshit. You have lost yourself. Men, it is time to get your shit together. It is time to get your ass back in gear. It is time for you to stop focusing on her and to begin focusing on you. The next question, the next thing I want you to think about is, what does healing look like for you in the next 3 to 6 months? What does your healing journey look like for you? How healed will you be in the next 3 to 6 months? Where will you be at with your healing? Will you still be a basket case? Will you still be crying all night? Will you still be yelling at your kids? Will you still be screaming at walls and in the shower and whatever? Where will you be in your healing journey? You must have a vision for that. And I'm not saying that you know all and that you don't say, well, 6 months from now, I'm not going to be crying about this anymore. Like, maybe that's possible and maybe it's not. But the fact is you have to have a vision of what healing looks like for you. Healing for you might be just getting back on your career path. I can't tell you how many guys come to me and they want help with their marriage, but their finances are all out of whack. It's like, dude, you're out of sequence. You've got to go fix your shit. You can't save something when part of the reason that person's leaving you is because they don't feel financially secure with you because you're not providing at a high level. Now, that's not every case and that's not every situation. But for most guys, that is a big part of it. If you are barely making it and you're making excuses, she didn't work, she didn't do this, she didn't do shit, blah, 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 I make 12 bucks an hour, whatever. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with hard work. But if you're not able to provide at a high level, you need to go work on that. You need to go get a side hustle. You need to go start a business. You need to go do something that is able to provide for you and your children at a high level. That is leadership, my friend. That is confidence because your wife is looking at that. If she remembers you, just making whatever, 13, 14 bucks an hour, and there's, again, nothing wrong with making a basic living. But if you're living under the standard of what you know is possible, because most guys doing that are living under the standard of what they know is possible for them. That they're lazy ass motherfuckers. They like to play Call of Duty all night and not actually do the shit they need to do. Some of you just got to put that shit away. Go start a side hustle. Spend 3 hours a day doing that and make money. Go do Uber. Go do whatever you've got to do. And then you can come in and we can fix the shit that's going on there. But if you don't work on those things, what are we doing? What are we doing? This isn't about her. It's about you. We have to look internally and go, what am I doing to contribute to the failure of the marriage? The next thing, what kind of relationship will you have with your kids in the next 3 to 6 months? What kind of relationship will you have with them? Are you going to be with them 50-50? Are you going to be with them 100% of the time? When you're with them, what are you doing with them? What kind of activities are you doing with them? I want you to really think about that because some of you may not have them 100% of the time. And the first time you let your kids go, if you go on 50-50, the first time that happens, it will fuck you up if you're not ready for it. Because emotionally, you have got to be strong. Guys, I can't tell you enough that even if you go through divorce, even if you go through separation, those kids are looking to their father for how strong he is and how he's going to show up. I'm not saying you don't show emotion. I'm not saying that you act like you got everything together and everything's fine. What I am saying, though, is that you are working on you, and they will see that. They will see the work you are doing. They will see the investment you are making. They will see the man, the empowered man you are becoming because you are putting in the work and you are putting in the time. Man, this takes work. This fucking takes work. A lot of you are used to doing work with your hands. This takes emotional, heartfelt, mental work. You have got to get mentally stronger. Some of you are weak as fuck when it comes to this. Like you can't hold shit up. Like, yeah, you're great out there on the tractor. You're great plowing shit. You're great with your hands, concrete. You're great on sales calls. You're great in a business meeting. But when it comes to this, you're falling apart. Talking to a guy recently, owns a big conference, telephone, call center. Owns a big call center. Hundreds of employees, whatever. His wife wants to leave him. And he's literally just falling apart to pieces. And guess what? His business is falling apart as well. He is in pieces right now because he has no vision for who he wants to be. He is so wrapped up in her and the decisions she's making and feeling sorry for himself. Gentlemen, it is time. It is time. It is time to stop feeling sorry for yourself. It is time to get your ass off your couch and stop feeling sorry for yourself. It is time to make forward movement and move into a new realm of what is possible for you. Because you and I cannot control what she does. We can do things together. I can give you skills to communicate. I can help you set boundaries. I can help you do a lot of things. But at the end of the day, she must choose to be married to you. And so many of you are in denial. So many of you are living in this world of like thinking that, well, if I just go work out, or if I just buy better clothes, or if I just wear cologne, or if I just buy her flowers and do these things, that somehow she'll want to come back to me. That's not how it fucking works. You have to create an adventure that she wants to join you in. And if she chooses not to live in that adventure, you're going to be better. I tell every one of my guys this, is that not one man will fail in my program if he does the work. The only guys that have failed in my program are the guys who legitimately did not do the work. That's it. We have a 100% success rate when they do 100% of the work. That means they don't make excuses. They show up for their calls. They extract value out of the program. And they live at a higher expectation of themselves. Guys, that's why we built this program. This program is not for every man, because not every man is ready to engage at a level that calls you, pulls you, pushes you at a level you've never been pushed at before. Because I will hold your shit to the fire. And if you want to be around that, if you want to be in that environment, you've got to have a vision. I will not let you into my program unless you have a vision of where you want to be and who you want to become. It just won't work. It just won't. The next thing is, what does your health look like? What do you want your health to look like in the next 3 to 6 months? What are you doing? What are you focusing on? What is happening in you physically? What are you putting in your body? All of those things. You have to have a vision for that. And then finally, what does your financial situation look like? If you are going through divorce, shit can get all messy. It can get all messy. Because all kinds of funds are here and there and all these things. Guys, you have got to prepare yourself. You cannot sit there and live in denial thinking, well, maybe she'll change her mind. Well, maybe this won't be the way it is. Well, maybe this will happen. No, you have got to take care of your ass and your assets. Okay? I can't say that stronger than it really is. You have got to cover your ass and your assets. You don't know what this person is capable of. That's my wife. She would never do that to me. Brother, I am telling you, she will do it, and she will do it with a smile on her face. There are women that when they have an affair, when they have mental disorders, when they have narcissism that comes out of nowhere, you will find yourself in a place and go, what the fuck just happened? So look, I mean, you want to go hang out with somebody who'll coddle you and make you feel better about yourself and all that good shit, and just tell you, hey man, everything's gonna be great. All you gotta do is do what I tell you to do and you'll win your wife back. You want to go hang out with those groups? There's plenty of them out there that will tell you whatever you want to hear. That is not what this group is about. This group is about mental strength, emotional strength, emotional intelligence, growing up emotionally. This group is about moving forward and building a life that your wife would want to be a part of. And if she chooses not to, if she decides, hey, I don't want to be a part of this, you are in a better place. That is my goal, guys. For every man that comes to my program, that is my goal. Is that they would come to a place where they go, you know what? I love her. I want her to be with me, but she's choosing another path, and I'm choosing my path. That's it, guys. Who do you want to be? How do you want to show up? What kind of man do you want to be in the next 3 to 6 months? You have to be able to answer that. You have to be able to come to grips with that. You have to be able to lean into that. Because that is what will make you an empowered man. Hey, so look, I created a worksheet for this. And all you got to do is comment vision below, and I will send it to you. Comment vision below. And I basically created a worksheet for this with all the questions in it to help you create that vision for yourself. Okay? So go ahead and comment vision below, and I will send it over to you today, tomorrow, depending upon how many comments I get. So comment vision below, and I will send you the worksheet training for that. Talk to you guys later.
Hey, this is Mark Santiago, CEO and founder of Empowered Man. I want to thank you for listening to today's podcast. However, before you go, I want to give you a special invitation. Now listen, we've got a program that is designed specifically for men who are hurting right now, who are on the verge potentially of divorce, who are facing potential separation or already separated, and they don't know what to do. They don't know where to turn. They're dealing with anxiety. They're dealing with cheating. They're dealing with all kinds of shit. If that's you, I want to challenge you to take the Empowered Man 30-Day Challenge. That's right, the Empowered Man 30-Day Challenge. You can go to emchallenge.com right now and sign up for the 30-Day Challenge. Here's why I think you should do that. If you're hurting, you need to understand why you're hurting. You need to understand what is actually going on. In week 1 of the challenge, we are going to actually rip off that Band-Aid a little bit and coach you through that process. And then we continue to do that process all the way to the point where you start to make decisions that are empowered instead of disempowered. I don't know about you, but I would much, much, much rather make decisions from a place of strength than a place of weakness. So if you're facing decisions, if you're facing this anxiety, what do I do? How do I respond? When my wife is being toxic, I don't know what to do. My wife is cheating on me. I don't know what to do. My wife doesn't love me. I don't know what to do. We are going to help you find those answers within. Now, look, this 30-day challenge is probably unlike any other you've been a part of. Why? Because not only do we have daily assignments happening in the program every single day, but you also get live group coaching calls. I said live group coaching calls with myself and my lead coach. That's right. I am a part of this. It's not just some other people doing it. I am there live with you every single week call that we are on. Third part of that is you're going to have a community of other guys that are going through exactly what you are going through. And the best part of this isn't even a fraction of the price we could charge for it. In fact, at some point we may raise the price, but right now it is at a bargain. So go to emchallenge.com, emchallenge.com to take the Empowered Man 30-Day Challenge, and I will see you on the inside.